Hello po at isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ngayon po ay December 21, 2022. 4 days na lang, Pasko na. Welcome po sa the stock market today. Ang ating balita ay tungkol muli sa PLDT. Ako po si Benji Chidoro, isang retired bank officer na nagsimula mag-invest sa Philippine stock market noong 2007. Araw-araw po namin binabalita ang pinaka-latest news tungkol sa inyong paborito at pinaka-aktibong stock sa Philippine market. Kung gusto niyo po ng content, niimbitahan ko po kayo mag-subscribe sa aking channel. Kung meron po kayong stocks na gustong ipa-review, paki-comment lang po sa comment box at aking pa-prioritize. O meron po kayong tanong tungkol sa wealth management o sa Philippine stock market, pwede po ninyong itanong sa akin at sisikapin ko pong sagutin sa abot ng aking makakaya. Hindi po ako financial advisor. Mga sinasabi ko po dito, hindi po financial advice. Get well soon to my cousin Mari or praying for your recovery. Huwag kayong alis dahil babahagi ko sa inyo ang ating financial headlines at ang resulta ng trading sa ating PSE ngayong araw, December 21, 2022, dito lamang sa The Stock Market Today. Ang ating headlines ay matatagpuan po sa Business World. BSP signals more tightening in 2023. Balance of payment records 756 million deficit in November. Corporations face higher fines for failure to disclose beneficial ownership. Agri output may expand up to 2.5% next year. Sa corporate news naman, ay tignan natin po ito, no? ICTSI signs new 30-year lease for Poland terminal. Megawide sees precast unit as potential growth driver. Robinson's Land DMCI homes stop off building in Las Piñas. And Emperador expands public float to 20%, which meets the PSE requirement. Pero ang ating main news po dito ay actually 2 days ago na po ito, no? Heads to roll at PLDT, says disappointed MVP. Certainly, we've taken a knock on our reputation. We pride ourselves on governance, on disclosures, and we're gonna get a knock. We have a job in trying to recover our credibility, said Manuel B. Pangilinan, also known as MVP, who chairs PLDT Inc., after he detailed in an exclusive to the Inquirer how he learned of initially as much as 130 billion in undocumented purchase orders were made in the last 4 years of the country's largest telecommunications firm. On Friday, the company said the latest estimate of these questionable deals, which it described as budget overruns, had been trimmed to 48 billion, representing 12% of PLDT's 379 billion capital spending program in the past 4 years. The 76-year-old billionaire businessman said a senior company executive had informed him about a problem with unrecorded transactions in early October. This official had discovered that the company had been ordering and paying for billions of pesos worth of internet and phone network equipment without the documentation needed for accurate record keeping. Without such controls, it becomes difficult to determine whether the deals are above board or if scrupulous or unscrupulous corporate officials or vendors are committing fraud or earning kickbacks from multi-billion peso purchases. So that's one segment, and may I turn you or direct you here, no? BizBuzz, PLDT budget overrun what? We explain. We interrupt normal BizBuzz programming, which is to say our normal fare of corporate world gossip, with something less gossipy but no less interesting. It is of course about the 48 billion budget overrun that telecommunications giant PLDT disclosed on Friday. A lot of people still don't understand just exactly what a budget overrun and how it happened. With the company still mum on the exact details of the anomaly, BizBuzz went snooping for you, our dear readers, to provide greater clarity in this time of confusion. According to our authoritative source, the 48 billion in question refers to capital equipment, mostly telco network equipment, that is already in use by PLDT. However, this equipment has not yet officially been accepted by the company. As such, they are not recorded on its books. And if these assets haven't been officially accepted, it also means they haven't been paid for yet. How that happened and why that happened remains a mystery. Was it just sloppy record keeping that went on for several years? Or was someone in the company or someone in the supply chain making a quick buck? It's hard to tell at this point. Actually, conflicting po yung mga statements dito eh. So, dito po muna tayo, no? Sabi dito, sa umpisa, si MVP o si Manny Pangilinan said a senior company executive had informed him about the problem with unrecorded transactions in early October. And then, ang sabi pa niya, or sabi ng article, this official had discovered that the company had been ordering and paying for billions of pesos worth of internet and phone network equipment without documentation needed for accurate record keeping. And then we go here to BizBuzz. Itong paragraph na ito. According to our authoritative source, the 48 billion in question refers to capital equipment that is already in use by PLDT. However, this equipment has not yet officially been accepted by the company. As such, they are not recorded on its books. And if these assets haven't been officially accepted, it also means that they haven't been paid for yet. Una, confusing po ito. Kasi po, kung paniniwalaan po natin itong paragraph na ito, it is capital equipment that is already in use by PLDT, and this equipment is not recorded in the books. And if these assets haven't been officially accepted, it also means that they haven't been paid for yet. And then you talk about depreciation, no? And since these assets are not recorded in the book, once it gets reported, it gets depreciated. Okay, una, we were discussing here in the office earlier kung anong implication nitong paragraph na ito, no? Because it is confusing. One, if you have capital equipment that is already in use by PLDT but is not in the books, hindi ba plus side yun sa PLDT? Meaning, advantages yun para sa kanya, di po ba? Bakit? Meron siyang asset na wala sa libro pero kumikita ang kumpanya dahil dyan. Di ba? In other words, you are using something which you already have but is not in the asset side, pero the income that you generate there is more than the current income. Should you place the asset there, therefore, it is advantages yun, that understated yung assets mo, but your income, you're earning from it, di ba? Ngayon, kung i-record mo yan sa books, di makakaroon ng depreciation, no? Ang ibig sabihin po niyan is that when you have equipment or when you have capital equipment, say, for example, a server worth 10 million pesos, and the life of the server is 10 years. Depreciation meaning ang life lang niya is 10 years, pero you incur an expense every year called depreciation expense dahil you can only use the asset for 10 years. In other words, kung 10 million yan at 10 years mo gagamitin, ang cost mo dyan is 1 million per year. Expense po yan. Yun po ang ibig sabihin ng depreciation. Ngayon, kung hindi po siya recorded on the books, these assets and so, that is a mystery to me, no? Kasi kung hindi yan na record in the books, therefore, understated yung assets niya, pero yung income mo, kumikita yan from the asset. And if you get to record the asset or you get to record the depreciation once the asset is in the books, ima-match mo lang yan against the income, di ba? And the income that you earn from that is greater than the depreciation expense. Di po ba ganun lang yun? So, eto, merong conflicting statement po dito. Kaya po siguro sinasabi niya, these assets are not recorded in the PLD books, they aren't being depreciated in accounting terms, the way they should be. Diba? On the average, capital equipment will be depreciated up to 10 years or 9 conservatively. In other words, okay lang yun. Kung hindi mo na record, okay lang yung depreciation expense because you're earning from it. And that's a mystery to me. Bakit ang term na ginamit niya is a budget overrun where in fact, understated yung asset mo. Di po ba? Pangalawa, maaring ang nangyari dito is that ito ay opinion ko lang po. No? Hindi mo ni-record sa books but inallow ng kumpanya na gamitin mo yung asset. And since you released money, hindi yan na-record as capital equipment. Na-record yan as probably advances to suppliers. Yan. Maaring gano'n na nangyari. In other words, hindi talaga mag-a-appear sa libro yan and magiging sa'yo lang ng asset after X number of years. Parang lease purchase ang nangyari. And in which case, advantages pa rin yung kay PLDT kasi you don't own the asset, you don't depreciate. Diba? And yet, kumikita yung asset yan. Hindi kayo ngayon maintindihan kung saan ang anomalya doon. And there is a lot of things to do and we should learn about this na hindi natin alam. No? Maraming piece of the puzzle that we don't know yet because me as an accountant wouldn't understand what would happen here. Baka meron pang ibang transaction. We were discussing kanina. Baka merong ibang transaction na hindi po natin alam because the explanation here doesn't make sense. Well, that's my 2 cents worth. Okay, so abangan lang po natin. In the meantime, ngayon is 11:57 before lunch, 3 minutes before lunch break. PLDT is up 68 pesos. Nasa 1258. So, tingnan lang po natin ang mangyayari kay PLDT and we will go back to the index later. Okay. We're just 1 minute away from closing time. And before we go to the index, let me read some additional comments here. No? Sabi ni Robbie Castillo, Sir, kung Friday profit-taking all stocks will lower price? Hindi po lahat, but most of the index stocks goes lower dahil yung mga traders gusto nila magkaroon ng pera during the weekend. So nagpo-profit taking po sila. But not all stocks, hindi po ganun ang character. But most of the index stocks ay lower on a Friday. Tumataas uli yan on a Monday. No? Nagbibilihan uli sila. Yun po yung normal cycle. But there are some instances na during Fridays ay mataas po ang index, but most of the time, in my experience, lower po siya. Ronald Magude, Sir, CLI, LTG at AXLM, baka pwede pong pa-review fundamentals. Okay, Ronald, wala po akong CLI at saka AXLM, pero meron po akong LTG. Siguro yun po ang reviewin natin, ano? Yung fundamentals ng LTG. I have one here. Okay, so it's 3 o'clock na and we will be doing the following. Ano? First is, let me just check if I have the correct. Okay, so the PSE index bounced back. No? Nasa 62.68 na po siya. Nasa 6520.80 or 0.97% up. Yung ating market activity naman, 68 companies ang bumaba, 103 ang bumabante, 46 ang hindi nagbago. Ang ating all-share index ay umakyat ng 1.05%. Lahat ng ating sectoral indices naman ay tumaas libang lamang sa services na bumaba ng 0.05% or almost flat. Ang pag-akyat ay pinangunahan po ng mining at 3.54% followed by the financials at 2%. Okay, tignan po natin ang most active stocks. ITEL, AGI, ICT, BDO, AC, and APL, ano? Pero re-reviewin po natin si TEL, CLI, LTG, AXLM, AGI, and SCC. Okay, umpisa na po natin si TEL kasi ang pinaka most active stock, meron po siyang recovery, gaining 60 pesos, 5.04% up. Let's put up our indicators. Yan, bearish po pa rin si TEL, pero the RSI is still oversold at 29.39. Yun po si TEL, ano? And just take note, meron pong gap dito which will soon be filled, ano? And once umakyat po yan, mafe-fill na po yung gap na yan. So it's a good time to buy TEL because technically, oversold po yung stock. So, yung pinaka-support po niya ay nakikita ko po dito, nasa 1,280. Actually, support level na po siya, no? Sorry, 1,260 ang pinaka-support level po ni TEL. Based on the 1-week chart, balik po natin sa 1 day, yan po. So, it is within that area and oversold po yung stock. So, very attractive po yung presyo niya. And don't worry about TEL. They will bounce back from these challenges that they are having now. Okay, next we have CLI. Si CLI, Cebu Landmasters, just moving sideways. At makikita pa natin dito is sideways to bearish. No? If we will be drawing a Darvas box here, yan po yung range of movement ni CLI, ano, or Cebu Landmasters. And for the past, since October, ay within this band lang po siya gumagalaw, ano. So the base of that is our support, nasa 254, and the resistance is at 271. Nasa gitna lang po yung kanyang RSI, or a bit on the bearish side at 44.65. Yan po. And sideways to bearish po ang kanyang direction. Then next we have LTG. Si LTG, yan, bullish to sideways to bullish po, with our moving averages under the candlestick, meaning ay gumagalaw po siya, or bullish po ang kanyang galaw. And I noticed a gap down here, no? May gap down po siya dito na later on would be filled, no? Okay, may dividend po siya, but it was already given last December. Ngayon po, pinaka-support, it follows the EMA 50. Nasa EMA 50 is 8.82. Yan po ang pinaka-support. And the resistance is near this level here, 9.44. Now, yung kanyang fundamentals, I saw one at BDO. Ito ay dated November 14, 2022. This is based on third quarter figures, no? Their FS. Sabi niya maintain buy. So may buy rating po siya with a target price of 11 pesos, which was decreased previously from 12. Ang sabi niya dito, deep value and high dividends. So action valuation is maintained by, target price lowered to 11. Tobacco profits improved sequentially, PNB earnings challenged. So among the portfolio of, among the group is their liquor plus retail, o may retail ba? I'm not very sure. And banks, no? Robust tobacco profits, and then we have, ano na siguro ito? These are consolidated, ano? Yan, tobacco ito eh. Marlboro, Tanduayan Asia Brewery, ito yung liquor business niya. And the bank is PNB. So yan po, may implied upside po siya ng about 21% based on 905, ano? About a 21% upside. So maganda po ang LTG dahil maganda po magbigay ng dividendo ito. dividend yield, tingnan natin kung mako-compute natin, ano. So that's 15 plus 30 plus 30 plus 50. That's 1.25 for the year, 1.25 per share divided by 9.05. The dividend yield is a whopping 13.8%, higher than most, higher than the bond, and we remove the 10% tax times 0.90. 12.43 ang kanyang dividendo. Very high po ito. Well, relatively high. And it beats all the bonds, ano? Yung bond yield. So yan po, si PLDT, very attractive for yung yield. So, totoo po yung sinasabi niya dito. Deep value, high dividends. Overall, we maintain our buy rating on LTG with a new target price, still implying a significant upside potential of 26%. The stock continues to trade at a deep discount with projected full year 23 forecast dividend yield of around 10%, pero 12.4 po ang compute ko. Net of tax na po yun, among the highest in our coverage. So, maganda po si LTG at yan po ang kanyang lagay. This is as of November 14, 2022. Next, we have ALXM. Yan, just moving sideways po siya. Technicals po tayo, I don't have fundamentals here. So, support and resistance, and support is here at 238. Resistance, 258, no? So, that's about a 20 centavo range, no? Pero, si ALXM is just moving sideways, bearish to sideways po ang kanyang movement. RSI is at 39.72, bearish po ang trend niya. And then after that, we have AGI. AGI is, yan, pataas si AGI. And overbought na po yung stock, From here, October 3, ay nagkaroon po siya ng oversold level. Hanggang dito po, nagkaroon din ulit siya ng oversold level nasa 27.81 when the stock closed at 7.70. Now it's at 11.40. So it's bullish. Kung matitignan po natin ang gagawa po tayo ng parallel channel dito. More or less yan po. Slight overshoot, but it's still a parallel channel. Yan. So, masasabi po natin, support and resistance, nasa support is at 10.35 and resistance at 11.34 at paakyat po si AGI. Nagbigay po siya ng dividendo. 12, nabayaran na pala ito. Pero, yung kanyang akyat ngayon is 3.64% with volume, So, we may see some upward movement in the coming days. Although, konting ingat lang po tayo dahil overbought na po ito. Nasa 88.04 ang kanyang RSI. And anytime soon, there might be a reversal on the stock. And then, finally, we have SCC. Semirara. Yan, meron po siyang recovery. 34.90 na po siya. Gaining 1 peso 40 centavos or 4.18%. RSI is at 58.76, bullish po. And right now, it's moving upwards. Meron po siyang engulfing green candlestick with a slightly elevated volume here. Pero hindi ko po masabing breakout po ito, no? Yung resistance po, nandito, sa, this is support at 33.59 or 33.60. The next resistance level, nakikita ko po dito, sa 39.10. So, take note, meron po ditong gap down. Yan po. So, posible po pong umakyat ang stock to fill this gap here. Pero bullish po siya. RSI is at 58.77 right now. Okay, so yan po ang ating report sa stock market. Ika-21 ng Disyembre 2022. At ngayon po, ang tinatawag na winter solstice. Ibig pong sabihin yan, today is the longest night of the year. And in the northern hemisphere po ito. No? And it is the beginning of winter in the northern hemisphere. So, ang tawag po niyan ay winter solstice. Yan. Ang summer solstice naman ay July or June 21. Longest day of the year naman po yun. Beginning of summer sa northern hemisphere. Pero sa southern hemisphere po, ito po ay ang summer solstice. So, sa Australia, sa South America, summer po ang umpisa nito. Ito po si Benji Chidoro nagpapaalala. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagtangkilik hanggang sa muli. Merry Christmas, stay safe, God bless, and bye for now.